You know what? I'm feeling very, very pop today, particularly this evening, as we're coming closer and closer to the new moon in Pisces. And of course, we are in the Piscean energy already with the full moon a couple weeks ago in the sign of Pisces, if you follow true astrology. So we've literally had within a fortnight a double whammy of Piscean energy. And of course, us being on the cusp of the Piscean and Aquarian age, the Pisces energy has affected me greatly so, and I'm sure it has affected all of you guys out there because I have been in contact with people who have been feeling quite out of sorts, let's say. For myself, I've not been myself, really. I felt like I am not as in control of myself, you know, just I've had to go with the flow, and that's what I've been advised. Luckily, I've got good people I'm in contact with who have you know, a lot of wisdom to impart to me. And one constant thing I have been hearing is go with the flow, flow as in waters, and then everything will be all right. And because I'm feeling because of course Pisces is a very dreamy sign. It's not quite sure where it stands, whether it's conscious or subconscious, whether it's in the physical or in the spiritual. It's sort of caught up in between the two. And of course, people like me, a fire sign, air sign dominant, fire, air, I find this energy very, very disturbing. I was even cursing yesterday at the Pisces energy because it's just not my thing. I'm not comfortable in these waters. In these waters, I'm not comfortable at all. I'm not in my comfort zone. I'm more in my comfort zone around the summertime, summer, autumn. That's my time. So I've had to get used to this. And speaking of dreams, because of course Pisces ruled by Neptune, it's all about illusions, delusions, even dreams, drunkenness, drugs, the whole lot. Things that blur the lines between reality and quote unquote unreality, thing which we all know there isn't ultimately. Anyway, dreams. And remember, you're going to recognize the lyrics of this song. By the way, considering it is Piscean energy predominant at the moment, please bear with me. Have patience with me. I'm not going to be as straight to the point and cutthroat as I usually am. I may be a bit blurry and all dreamy, and I'm not drunk, nor high. So don't worry, I'm good. I'm just picking up empathically these energies, you know? And I'm outside right now. The skies are clear for the most part, so I can see the stars and everything else that, you know, goes in between them. And it's a very, very serene, beautiful night. The skies are lovely. And it's making me dreamy. And if you know anything about dreams, if you know anything about the dream state, you have different stages, you have different states. And I'm no expert when it comes to this, so I'm sure there is somebody watching this who has better knowledge than me. But remember, you have REM or REM. Remember. REM, when it comes to your sleep or dream state, simply is an acronym for rapid eye movement. And guess what happens during that stage of your sleep when you have rapid eye movement? Because there's also a stage where there is no rapid eye movement, non-REM, but you have REM. That's when you are dreaming, according to science. When you're in the REM state of sleep, when your eyes are moving all rapid all over the place, you're quote unquote unconscious, but your eyes are rapidly moving. And something is happening in your mind that you are having an experience just as if you're awake. So you are awake, but you're in a different dimension. And the proof of that is by the fact that your eyes are rapidly moving. And they have done research and tests to confirm what is going on in rapid eye movement as opposed to non-rapid eye movement. So we have a clue already in the term remember, because a lot of us don't remember our dreams. What other part of the word remember do you see now that we have discovered REM as in rapid eye movement, and the fact that we need to actually try and remember? You see, I'm going all Pisces. I wanted to put something in before, but let's go walk with me. Let's take time. We're not rushing. You have member. So you have remember, REM as in rapid eye movement, and then member. So maybe it is when we're talking about remembering and memory, foresight, vision, clarity, we are simply talking about our ability to remember our dreams, our ability to have clarity and lucidity in our quote unquote dreams. So are you a member of the rapid eye movement? Are you awake when you are asleep? Are you lucid? Are you able to wake up and consciously be aware of what you've experienced? Or have you forgotten? So we're getting somewhere. Now, Michael Jackson had a lot of Piscean energy, apparently. And I was having a conversation with a friend online yesterday, and I happened to tweet something about Michael Jackson yesterday, just randomly. He just came to my mind. I just tweeted that I would have loved to experience the Michael Jackson concert in the flesh. And she made note of the fact that, because we were discussing the whole energies and how everyone's feeling, and she just happened to make note of the synchronicity that I had mentioned Michael Jackson, particularly because he has, I think she said Pisces ascendant and moon according to Western. I mean, of course, true astrology-wise, that may not be the case in terms of his moon, but definitely I can see his ascendant being Pisces, particularly concerning his, drug issues, etc. And that's no offense, by the way, to Piscean people, because everybody has Pisces energy in them. Moving on. So she made note of that synchronicity, and we had a chuckle. And, I really thought about it and felt, well, although we're simply taking it lightheartedly, there is something poignant here with this energy coming up to this new moon, having passed the full moon in Pisces, him resonating a lot with that energy, as well as Leo. And then one song came to my mind today, this evening, just before making this video, because I wasn't even going to make this video. I was just going to keep this to myself. But, because I've been drained. I haven't wanted to make any more videos, actually. But this has pushed me to make another one. So that's probably what's going to happen more and more. I'll be forced to. So anyway, a song came to my mind, and I'm not going to sing it. I almost sang it. But I've had a good run on YouTube, so I'm not about to spoil that, okay? So I'm not going to sing it. It is, do you remember the time when we fell in love? That is the song from Michael Jackson. Do you remember the time when we fell in love? And if you have seen the video, there's a lot of, again, synchronicity in there with the knowledge he's putting out in that video. I think Eddie Murphy was in there. Eddie. So, do you remember the time when we fell in love? Right? Remember. Do you remember the time when we fell in love? And there was another song. It was a UK hip hop song about 10, 12 years ago now. And the lyrics in the chorus went something like, memories don't live like people do. Will you remember me if I remember you? And I really like that latter reference I just made, because those lyrics are very deep. Memories don't live like people do. Will you remember me if I remember you? So both those sets of lyrics from MJ and from these UK hip hop artists, they talk about remembering. And what links those two, speaking about remembering, is one thing: us. Because where they are making reference to remembering in the case of MJ, love, and in the case of the others, me and you as entities, and how much more we are than those memories, they are making reference to us, me and you, relationship. The only way that we can remember is if we have contact that is meaningful. And maybe the reason why we do not remember or why we do not have lucid dreams is because we are not making meaningful contacts in whatever state we find ourselves in. Because as I said, for you to remember is you being aware of the other side. Because the only reason why you're not clear, why you have blurred vision when you wake up, is because you are not remembering. You are not being a member of that rapid eye movement. And who are those in the rapid eye movement? Well, people like me and you. People who are actually trying to become conscious and link the conscious with the subconscious. Because this is all to do with consciousness, remember. No pun intended there. So you always, and I'm going to struggle to not say remember now that I've just done that. You always have to remember that when you go to sleep, you are simply going into another place. You're not dying to be born again the next day. There's no such thing as death. There's only transference, only transformation, only change. There's no such thing as stop and start. There's no such thing as die. It may appear so to the unconscious person or to the extremely conscious person who has no idea of the subconscious, so basically they're dumb. But people like me and you who are trying to marry the two will have a clue that we have to do what we do to remember that we are part of a movement. And if we are part of this movement on the real, this rapid eye movement, so that means that we remember when we go to sleep, when we know what's going on. We have no cloudiness. We are so sentient. We are so conscious that I can tell you what you know and vice versa, and we can build on that. That is the 144,000. That is the light worker. That is all the metaphors and all the jargon and words you can think of for this electricity, this circuit that I have found myself being a part of, communing with people across seas, communing with people I've never met in the flesh, to my awareness. But guess what? I have met many people that I have not even told in the flesh that I've met them, because I remember. For the most part, when I sleep, I remember. I don't wake up and I start again. I wake up and I continue, because I'm trying to consciously have clarity at all times. The last time I dreamt, I'm dreaming right now, because we are always dreaming. Did you know that? They say you always dream when you sleep, but did you know you're always dreaming, period? You just cut yourself off. But you know, somehow, in some way, whether it's because of a paranormal activity, whether it's because of a dream that had your head scratched for years and years, you know very well and truly that you are meant to be part of a circuit. You are meant to be part of a movement, the REM, the people who remember, the light beings, the 007 agents, the whatever you want to call yourself. As long as you have a sentience about you, and as long as you have a clarity and a memory, you will have remembrance. And your kinfolk will know you when they see you in the flesh, even if they don't know your name. Because I've had many, many experiences, and I don't like to, shed too much light on them in a forum like this, unless it's really, really appropriate. So unless you get to know me well, you won't know some of the remembrance I have from the other side. And as I said, we are constantly dreaming. So when I get thoughts, or if a aha moment comes, a light bulb or a solution or a thought to contact someone who may be in need, anything, is simply because I'm in rapid eye movement. When I'm awake, when I'm asleep, I'm in rapid eye movement mode. So I'm active. You are too. But you have to connect the dots to know that you are, and then see what is going on. Because you have meetings. I've even remote viewed before and seen things on the under earth. As crazy as that sounds, and this was years before I knew about all this consciousness stuff. Crazy. Thank you, Sarah. I appreciate that. And it's because of you I've probably been able to get this thought and do this video, because I've been very, very much drained. As I said, I was cursing Pisces yesterday, man, because this energy, and I'm more and more empathic than ever, and it's really, really hit me. Where before it didn't hit me because I was numb and dumb and calcified, I'm now opening up more and more. So I'm more fragile, I'm more sensitive. I have to cleanse myself. I have to shield myself. I have to learn. It's like I'm in the phase now where a baby's learning to walk. The only thing with me is that people see me as walking. But what I'm experiencing and what we are all experiencing on a cellular level is birth, rebirth. By the way, don't be annoyed if I'm going off track, because I'm not. It all links up. This is Pisces. Literally what I'm exhibiting to you in this video is typical Pisces, and this is why it frustrates me. Because my moon is in Aquarius, so I'm very analytical and logical. I have a lot of Virgo energy, and I'm a Leo. So you can imagine that I find the Pisces energy very, very frustrating, but there are people who will be loving it. And as I mentioned in my Twitter, by the way, follow my Twitter at The Real Eddie, EDI. I mentioned on my Twitter yesterday that, Chiron, the sun, and the moon tomorrow will be conjunct in Pisces. So if that's not sexual healing, I don't know what is. So I made a reference to Marvin Gaye in that tweet, because you have Chiron, which is the healer, the wounded healer. You have the moon, the woman, and the sun, the man, conjunct, all within 5 degrees. Of course, the moon and the sun will be on top of each other, or zero orb, because they're right. It's a new moon, so they're lined up, so there won't be any difference between them. But Chiron is like 2 or 3 degrees away from them tomorrow. That's tomorrow afternoon. So it's going to be a very, very, very sensual, exciting time. And we all have to keep our calm and our modes and have that control. So I've had a lot of, luckily I've had people who understand what's going on, because I can't have conversations like this with the average Joe. They just think we're bonkers, isn't it? They just think that. But they'll see. Give it 20 years. They'll be looking at videos like this and information like this and thinking, what on earth are we up to then? So we are the pioneers, and that's why it's important for us people on this circuit, building this circuit, to continue this circuit and make it even better and bring more people onto the circuit, because that's what we're meant to be doing. If you were ever bored, or you were ever dissatisfied with love, dissatisfied with life, it's because you were anointed and you were chosen as one of the agents to come and do your work, gradually connect with others who are doing the same work in a different manifestation. And just like you have the two fish intertwined in Pisces, we need to intertwine a circuit and have electricity flowing through it, if that makes sense to anyone out there. So just remember, to put it in short, coming up to 20 minutes, 2. The number 2 is very, very much to do with Pisces, because you have the 2 coming together, the left, the right, the spiritual, the physical, the man, the woman. So it's almost like an androgynous energy, Pisces. it's androgynous and it's confusing, and I don't like it. But maybe next time when we have such a strenuous, concentrated amount of Piscean energy, I'll be much more adept at dealing with it. Not that I've done anything crazy. It's all emotional and internal and mental. It's just a bit crazy. But um, yeah, I hope I will learn to love it, Sarah. Honestly, because this is all new to me, believe it or not. To this than I am, but I've literally just been snatched from the matrix and just put into this initiation, and I'm going through these stages and I'm blogging them, I guess. So that's why I say what I say are thoughts. Who am I to make facts? I'm no guru, as in like your leader or your teacher. I'm just Eddie. I'm just making a journey as you're making a journey, and I find that when you're making journeys together, it's easier. So that's what I'm hoping to do with people. Yeah, Pisces is just a weird energy, man. And I won't disclose who, but I'm very close. I have Pisces people close to me, both ascendants. So even more than the sun, they are the embodiment of Pisces because the ascendant is Pisces. The ascendant is your overall summary, basically. Like my ascendant is Sagittarius. So if you meet me for the to know me a bit more, you may start to pick up the Leo. Probably pick up the Leo after 2 minutes, and you start to pick up other elements. Then if we got into a relationship, be it a business, love, whatever, you'll start to. It's so deep, this astrology and all of this science, which religion has put us off deliberately, whilst they study themselves, those fools. So I'm just trying to connect people back to all this stuff so that we can all enlighten ourselves and hurry up this process. Because I feel like this process has been dragging for so long. And you may be asking, what process, Eddie? I'm talking about a better world. A better world where people don't have to be working all the time, and then when they retire, they don't know what to do with themselves. A world where people don't tell you that there's a limitation on the resources, because if everybody had some, we would have none. That is the biggest BS I've ever heard. So that's what I'm trying to do. I think I've rambled on a bit, but I think I got the point out. Remember, the next time you see the word remember, the next time you think of remember, the next time you think of memory, just think about your mind, your third eye, your whole self, your whole divinity, your whole divine masculine, your whole divine feminine, bringing all of these elements together into one package and just being part of the circuit in your waking state, in your sleeping state. Because remember, this all started with the rapid eye movement, the REM. That's why you remember, because you have eye movement. You see those people who are in non-REM, those people who aren't having that movement, those people who are not part of that clan, they are dead. When they go to sleep, they die. And then when they wake up, they start again. So yes, they are zombies. But we are humans, as I said before. We have a hue, Hue. We have a certain aura, a hue. So we are not mankind like those who die when they sleep. We are humans who are awake and have rapid eye movement when they sleep. Okay? That's me for the night. Peace to all of you out there. Remember, on a new moon, say your affirmations, say your prayers, reaffirm yourself, say the Lord's Prayer, say anything that is positive and that will benefit yourself and your hue. Because the new moon is tomorrow afternoon, just after 1 o'clock Greenwich Mean Time. So depending where you are in the world, you can calculate it and figure out when the new moon will be taking place in your land. And you can go into Google as well and just type in new moon in Pisces for whatever your sun sign is or whatever. And if you want information on stuff depending on your sun sign, your ascendant, your Venus, whatever. If you want something for the new moon that's more personal to you, just contact www.galeos.guru. That's GALEOS.guru. Because believe it or not, in the old days, in the Bible, they followed the moon, just as the Muslims do today, basically. But let's stick to our clan. In the Bible, they had a new moon, full moon. They would blow their shofar or whatever horn. They would have a festival. So it was like a Sabbath. So as well as the Saturday, the Sabbath, Saturn's Day, Sabbath, you also had Sabbaths on those festivals. So whenever the new moon and the full moon was, so they were always observing the skies, these guys, and because of this, they were very much aware as to societal and personal flows and what to expect, and they just basically had more sentience about them. So they weren't walking around with their heads to the ground, they were walking with their heads up, and I believe all of us should be doing so. And the reason why we have been in the dark ages is because we have literally been in the dark. And if anybody told you that we're not in the dark ages now, they're lying to you. But we're coming out of that. So we've been in the dark ages for a very, very long time. And so the reason why I mentioned that is because you have certain prayers you can do as an individual. Like I'm Eddie, I have certain prayers and certain affirmations. Depending on your disposition and nature, which you can figure out, you have certain prayers and affirmations. And depending on the cycle where this moon is, you can do certain things. So if you wanted more information, you can just contact me and I'll be more than happy to fill you in. So I think that's it. Just if you're feeling a bit out of sorts or different or more excited or more energetic or you can't sleep as much or blah, 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 you're not the only one and it's not abnormal. You're simply going through a highly energetic season. And like I said, you are special. You are not the Joe Blogs. You are not the John Doe. You are not the average Joe. You are a being. So you are going to be experiencing things that most people will have no clue about. So don't even waste your time and breath trying to make people understand. Just find your soul groups, find your soul families, your soulmates. I know there are people out there who are lucky enough to have soulmates within their physical presence. Speak to those people, comfort each other, buck up each other as well. Encourage each other, because it's only going to get more intense. All this stuff, if you are feeling anything, it's only going to get more intense. And if you're not feeling anything, by the end of the year, you'll probably be saying you're feeling something. Even if you're just saying that the time is moving faster than you felt before, which I had been feeling since 2009, which was a 2-year. And guess what year this is? A 2-year. 2 plus 0 plus 1 plus 8 equals 11. 1 plus 1 is 2. We are in an 11 year, a gateway year. So this is a very special year. If you remember, if you are awake, if you are part of the crew. If you're not, you'll be raptured. Because that's one thing. People think that when it comes to the rapture, it's the chosen ones, quote unquote, who will be taken away because they're special. No. The earth will simply rise in vibration to a point where those who are in low vibration, who do not raise their vibrations, will not be able to keep up and they'll die away. So their true zombie form will be revealed. That's the rapture. And if you want information about the rapture from my perspective, if you resonate with the information I'm putting out and my own crazy point of view, go to my video entitled The Rapture and Cartoons. I have a video from like last year or the year before entitled The Rapture and Cartoons. Peace. I love and peace all to you out there.